obviously going into that football game, you guys knew they were going to stunt a good bit. How did you guys feel as if you counteracted that or responded to those stunts, particularly against zone?
Yeah, I mean, really with zone, you're on a track. You know, you kind of want to just stay on the track and not let anything knock you off. Yeah, I mean, just really trying to emphasize staying on track. You know, versus movement and zone plays is like pretty much how we try to attack it.
Dylan, how would you assess just blocking for the run game? And obviously Georgia's been known for run game this past week. That was non-existent almost. Mm-hmm. What can be done to reestablish it?
We just need to get better. I mean, it's plain and simple as that. You know, we need to just attack this week of practice and clean up some footwork and some things that, you know, just trouble most offensive lines. You know. And just really just attack this week in practice and just get better with the fundamentals.
Dylan, how much do you feel like this matchup against a really good Tennessee defensive front is a chance for you guys to prove yourselves and to bounce back from last year?
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity, you know, and you know, in this league, you got to move forward. You know, you got to bury things, and you know, that's what we've done. We're moving forward, and we're looking forward to attacking this week and just getting better at this week practice.
Over here. Whenever you're facing a defensive line as talented as Ole Miss was, is an offensive line, is there anything that can be done, you know, schematically to maybe help you guys a little bit more, or is it just as simple as just blocking the man, you know, who's there in front of you?
I would just say trust some fundamentals. You know, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You know, is how good are your fundamentals? You know, kind of just go back to the basics. Just try to focus on that.
Yeah, Dylan, I would guess the film session yesterday wasn't necessarily pretty, but when you're watching that, just what were the biggest things you noticed on film, and how much of what you saw can be, you know, corrected on from 1 week to the next?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm saying, it's the fundamentals thing. You know, I think offensive line play is a lot of habitual. It's fundamentals are key in offensive line play, and when you lack fundamentals and when you lack, you know, those habits that are gonna keep you on the right course during the game, you know, it's not what you want. You know, you got to go back to work. You got to get better. You got to go back to fundamentals and the basics of things, and just get better.
Smile was back on the field Saturday for the first time since his injury. Just from afar, what have you seen from him as he's pushed to make his return?
Yeah, he's so positive about just, you know, Smile's had a couple of injuries, you know, and it's easy to let that, you know, get you down and discourage you. And I just think he's been real positive. Every time I see him, he's got a smile on his face. And so he's just attacked everything in rehab and everything that he's got to do to get back out there and doing what he does.
This game is being marketed and promoted this week as playoff elimination. Does it feel like that to you guys? Is there an air of desperation over Saturday's competition?
I would just say it's a game for us that we have to execute in and perform well. You know, I mean, I wouldn't say desperation. I would just say, you know, it's a game we want to win. You know, I mean, I think every game we want to win. Every game, every year we're striving to go to the playoffs. We're trying to get in those big, you know, championship games, and to do that you got to win. You know, so.
Dylan, you guys always pride yourself on being very process oriented, you know, more so than the results. When it does come after, you know, a loss, how much urgency is there to get those things corrected, to get that process back up to speed to where you guys want it compared to when you do win?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, you know, just you guys are process oriented. You're always not fixated on the results, but when you're in the
right.
situation you are, you know, with a goal, you know, still intact for you guys. When you do lose a game like that, how much urgency comes with getting everything figured out compared to when you win a game?
Yeah, I think the urgency is, you know, in practice and in the preparation now. You know, I mean, I think, you know, all of us wish we could go back and do at least one thing different. You know, I mean, I think that's just a human thought. You know, when you have a loss. Yeah, I mean, I would just say the urgency is spiked in practice. It's spiked in the preparation, and you know, all the things that we do to try to win. You know.
Yeah, as someone who's played next to him for most of the season, what have you seen out of Earnest Greene this year, and have he sort of had to battle through injury to get to this point this season?
Yeah, I mean, he's struggling with some injury right now, you know, and he's a very hard player. Like he is personally one of my best friends, and I know he wants to perform up to our standard, and we all want to perform up to our standard, and we can all perform better. You know, he's attacking his rehab. You know, we're getting some things figured out with just where he is along the lines of injury. You know, and just trying to figure his body out. You know, he's just got to get his body back into it, and once he does, it's gonna be back to business. You know.
No, I don't know your backstory in terms of if you grew up a Georgia fan or not, but you know, what are rivalry games like Tennessee or Florida? Do they mean more than the Ole Miss game or another game? Like, do you get more amped up for this one?
I wouldn't say they mean more. Maybe brings a little bit more, you know, in the fans and in the environment. But for us, it's a game. You know, we take every game as serious as the last and the next, and every game is serious. You know, every game we want to win. You know, and yeah.
Dylan, there's been a lot made about Carson Beck on the sideline, particularly after these games, body language, things like that. Just what kind of leadership have you seen from Carson, especially, or specifically, I should say, after that Alabama loss and then in the time since Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, he's positive. You know, I mean, you can't. This is football. You know, everything's not going to go your way. Everything's not going to go the way that we want it to, and you got to stay positive. You know, you can't mope around. You know, I mean, I don't know what people want him to do, mope around, but you know, you got to stay positive. You know, I mean, that's the thing is, you got to keep going. Wood's got to be chopped. You got to keep chopping. You know, so I mean, I'm happy that he's positive. I mean, I know our team's happy he's positive. We're looking forward to getting after it this week in practice and just getting better.
What is your kind of normal routine for a night game and just the process of the day, especially being at home? I mean, does it seem like the day takes forever for kickoff to get there, or how do you occupy your time, and are you just excited to be back home?
Oh yeah, of course, always excited to be back home. And I would just say kind of try to relax, you know, watch some football, wake up. I don't want to rush into my day, you know. Kind of just, you don't want to completely relax your mind, but you kind of just want to you don't want to play the game before it's played, you know. Yeah, just watch some football, kind of hang out, talk to teammates, talk to, you know, friends, maybe call mom, just hang out, you know. And then as the game gets closer, just kind of start to amp it up a little bit, get to thinking more and more about the game, you know, what we're going to see, the type of fronts, all that.
Give us your assessment of the run game this year versus last year. Kirby said, you know, that we in the media will look to the stats and he'll look to the defenses that you play, but it just doesn't feel like it feels different this year than last year. But I want to ask somebody who's actually doing the work.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the stats aren't what we want them to be, you know. Again, I would just go back to Coach Smart's point. You know, we've played a lot of really good defenses that stop the run, and to our benefit, that helps us. You know, that helps us in harder games. You know, that helps us in future games. It helps us get better, and we've just tried to get better from week to week. You know, I think that's the biggest thing is just keeping it going. You know, we've dealt with injuries all across the offense, so there's a lot of factors that kind of go into the stats. You know, stats don't necessarily tell a story, so we kind of just keep chopping wood and keep going.
Any more for Dylan? All right, Dylan, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan.